Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading an Aventurine Listener by me. So let's get into it. There was not a lot of mystery when it came to Aventurine's past. At least not to the basics of what it was. The brand on his neck did not leave much for wonder. And it was a lot of what they talked about. At least the IPC grunts. For they couldn't keep the wondrous thoughts out of their damn mouths. Not that you ever tolerated the rumors. Many of his friends did not. Unfortunately for him, Aventurine did not even believe he had many of them. But he would like to say otherwise. And at first, even before the two of you became a couple, he did not even believe you had an interest in him. He thought a lot less of himself than what he showed. He had that confident persona that you love to show off to everyone. But, in reality, it was quite obvious, once you got close to him, just how little of himself he thought. It was rather painful, but he knew that with both time and effort, on both your ends, there would be improvement. Slow, but there nonetheless. And that was all you could really ask for. However, you would never truly ever think or wonder that one day it would happen to tell you much more about his past than most people knew. It was during an uneventful day. The two of you were just cuddling, passing time, when Aventurine looked at you and felt as though you were a reason that most things in his life changed. At least from his perspective. He used to look at things differently. He used to do things differently. But right now it was different. Because you were here. And with you around, he saw the world in a different light. In a way, where his life was not a chip to be gambled away. It was something entirely different to how he proceeded usually. And for some reason, he wanted to let you know more about him. At first, he was terrified of how you would see him simply because of the brand on his neck. But soon he proved to be different. Even though his eyes were unusual, and they told you his story almost immediately. An Avgin from Sigonia. Surely there couldn't be anything good behind that. And yet, he stuck around. You didn't leave him at all. It was something he was unable to comprehend at first. But right now, he's more than grateful that he believed you and trusted you, that he gave your love a chance. It was everything that he needed in the world. And yet, he had no idea about it. It was you who did the most of the work. At least that was how it seemed in his perspective. He wouldn't admit that he did anything. Not like he spent weeks trying to woo you and get your attention. Thinking that you would want nothing to do with him at all. But once he had grabbed your attention, he had wanted his as well. It was nice to reminisce upon. And blissful in contrast to his past memories. It was entirely different. Ryan, I want to talk to you about something. It's a bit important, so I would rather you be free while we do it. Oh, sure. I can free myself up. Is everything fine? You seem a little bit anxious, Aventurine. That's because I am. It's important that I tell you. I don't like hiding things from you, Ryan. And I know I wasn't hiding that much before, but I feel as though I owe you to at least know how guilty I was. I don't understand what you mean, you say. And then he begins to tell you about that time that he was bought off, about the maze, and the 34 other people who were bought off to compete with him, just to see if his luck was real. And then I remembered Hawaiian, the chains, and how it felt to hurt them. I didn't do all of it by myself, but I know that it was horrible. I didn't want to do any of it. And by the time I was done, I was terrified. Back then I had no choice. Not like my luck would leave me any other, but I wanted to survive my own. So I hurt them. Over and over. I regret it now. I wanted to stop. If I had a choice, I would have, but I didn't have any. And if I went back in time, I'd still do it again. If it meant I would get to live, then I would do it. I know it's the worst thing that you could possibly hear. There is no excuse for that. My life isn't any more important than any of them. And yet, with those actions, I deemed it so. I acted like I was better than them. Like I deserved to live any more than those people. Aventurine. Stop. Enough. He looked at you, his eyes wide, and there was fear in them. He was scared that you would look at him with disgust now, that you knew more about him. It was a fear that he constantly had, no matter how much he trusted, and how loved he felt. He felt like he was disgusting downright from the core. And the more you knew about him, the more it would drive you away. So he was scared that once he told you, you would want nothing to do with someone as selfish and as rotten as him. And he would not even blame you. He wouldn't be able to. Aventurine, you're not selfish. You didn't act like your life was better. You had no other options, and you had to survive. And I'm sure all these people, they tried to survive as well. I know that you feel like it's your fault because you're lucky, but it's not. None of this was your fault. I promise you. You did your best with the hand that you were dealt. And right now, you're a much better person. You're so kind, Aventurine. And I hope one day you'll be able to see it. For now, though, I will see it for the both of us, if you will let me. His heart fluttered at your words, and he couldn't help but hug you tightly, burying his face into the crook of your neck. Thank you, Ayan. Truly, it means the world to me. I'll do my best to be deserving of that. You already have. Now I just want you to rest, and to look at yourself the way that I do. He knew it wouldn't come easy to him, but he hoped that with all the effort that the two of you were putting in, one day, he'll be able to look at himself and see the beautiful, kind person that he is.